What's up, everybody? This is Corey. You're listening to the Chasing Better podcast. And today's going to be a really interesting episode. And I'm just going to take you through a process here. All right. And I try to be as authentic about where I'm at and what I'm feeling as I possibly can. I feel like, there is such, and I don't, obviously not everybody has a podcast and not everybody is just dead set or feels like their job or life or income is predicated on creating content. But it can be draining. I think sometimes, you put so much pressure on yourself as a person, and I hate the word influencer, but if you're trying to add to your life and coach and help and sell and whatever it is that you do, this idea of just constant content is such a difficult thing because you feel like you just always have to be in this thought process, and that every time you think something, you feel compelled or need to share it. Like I just had this thought while I'm ass naked in the shower and I need to share it. Maybe not on live, but you know what I'm saying? Like you feel like every part of your life and every part of your whole world is possible content. You've got people that literally have video people follow them around everywhere, just content. We've heard that so often, like content is king, content. And I'll be honest, it's been a few weeks since I've recorded a podcast, and I've known I needed to for a long time, and I just, it sometimes becomes so heavy. And when I become a person that easily overwhelms yourself. And the crazy thing is like for someone like me who wants to be, and I have been in my life, like I've been a high achieving individual. Sometimes you can just allow yourself to get buried, and I have noticed and found in myself over the last, and some of it is just the weather and getting darker earlier and different things like that. But I've noticed that the less productive I am, the more tired I am. And rest is great. Like rest is important. And I am coming at this from two different angles here because I, on one hand, don't want to be someone that feels a constant, compelling force that is driving me to just create content all the time. At the same token, I don't want to be someone that just sits around all day. That there's both, and there's work and there's things and people that have to be, any job that any of us do. Like I can't imagine there's any of us that just loves showing up all of the time. Sometimes you just want to hide. But I just wanted to share that because I haven't recorded in a few weeks, and part of that is why. And I was like, I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm just gonna share it. That's one of the things I try to be and do on this channel is I know that the internet is a noisy space and podcasts are a dime a dozen. Everybody's got a podcast and everybody's got a YouTube channel and everybody's got a TikTok and everybody wants you to watch their content. And I'm like, you guys freaking don't need another damn content or more content to watch. I'm just going to share what I try to do is in an unfiltered way, just to be myself and realize that I'm not everybody's drink and everybody's got a drink and I'm not everybody's drink. And it's been challenging, right? Like I shared a story about this a few weeks ago, or maybe a few days ago, and I just said, I see so many people talk about how they don't care what anybody thinks. And from my experience, the people that typically share and say that they don't care what anybody thinks are usually the ones that care most about what everybody thinks. Of course, I care what people think. I'm a human being. But I want to talk a little bit about regret. I think that's a relevant topic because I think there's a lot of people today that just feel like life and things are heavy. And there's a lot of people that just have a lot of regret. And I've noticed this in my own life. that regret tends to be centered solely on decisions that we have made, things that we have done, relationships that we've been in, mistakes that we have made, areas that we have fallen short, words that we have said that we shouldn't have, things that we have done that we wish that we could take back. And now we live with the weight of the consequence of whatever decision it was that we made, and we live in regret of that. I don't remember who it was, and I probably should have looked this up, but there's probably several people that this has been attributed to. But the thought is, at the end of your life, you are going to regret more the things that you didn't do instead of the things that you did. Right now, most of the things that most of us center our regrets in are choices that we've made that we can't unmake. But my guess is, at the end of life, we're probably going to regret more experiences that we wanted that we were too scared or too paralyzed to make. Trips that we wanted to take, people that we wanted to meet, projects that we wanted to come. I've met every single person. I feel like every single person I've ever met in my life has told me, oh, I should write a book. Yeah, you freaking should. You have a story that needs to be told. I don't give a shit how many people read it. Doesn't matter. It's not about selling books. It's not about, it's about the accomplishment of what is out there. Man, you've got something to say. I just got done talking about how noisy the space is for content, but that's just because there's a lot of people consuming content. And I know it's, I just shared this about, books, but I think that's just a slight example, because I've talked to so many people that one of the things that they want to do that haven't is write. Get out there, man. I truly believe that part of the human experience is making mistakes. Part of the human experience is doing stupid things. Part of the human experience is falling flat on your damn face. Like, that's just part of the human experience. And sometimes we get so afraid and so paralyzed and so controlled and so consumed that we don't want to hurt people, and we don't want to say the wrong thing, and we don't want to battle our demons, and we don't want to fail, and we don't want to, and we just internalize all of these things about what possibly could go wrong. I think there's a lot of people that look forward to 2023, maybe through the lens of fear or worry about some things. And I'll be honest, I've had some heavy weeks, like really heavy weeks. Just not the greatest time of the year, to be honest, for coaching. And not tons of people are flying off the handle to lose weight or be coached or whatever during the season. It is what it is. It ebbs and flows just like everything else, but there's a lot of heavy things, like a lot of heavy things. And it can be so easy just to project into the future that life is always going to be heavy, that the season that I'm in is always going to be this way. And it's just not. Life ebbs and flows, and seasons come and go. And there was this thought, and I can't remember who posted it, but somebody said something along the lines of, can you just allow yourself to wrap your head around the thought, what if 2023 is your best year you've ever had? What if everything, not everything, because you're a damn human, but what if things go so amazingly well for you in the future? What if you're getting ready to walk into an amazing season? I've talked a lot about fear, and I've just gotten, several tattoos. I got the Gemini logo on my wrist, and I've got a phoenix rising from the ashes on my back. Of course, I got a Cubs tattoo in this wrist. Looks crooked, but it's just because of the lighting. But everybody usually, it seems like when people that get tattoos, like they want more. And the next one that I want is going to be right on my ass. Just kidding. I'm not doing that. But something centered around the topic of fear being my ally. That so many times fear is looked at as the enemy. Fear is looked at as this thing that's holding you back. But what if it wasn't? What if fear was your ally? Because what if fear was actually an indicator of the direction that you were supposed to walk in? And I think that when it comes to regret and what keeps people from doing things, it's fear, right? Shame. We have regret comes in the form of shame regarding decisions we've already made and things that we've already done and words we've already said and people we've already hurt. And that's shame. Like there's so much shame. And a lot of that is real in the sense of like, if you've been a part of hurting someone else or causing harm or trauma or even sadness in someone else's life, there is an element that you have to deal with that, because it's not fun to carry. But most of the time we have so much shame surrounding ourselves in the past about things that we cannot change. When it comes to the future, the regret that we have is based in fear, that we're worried. We overanalyze our future. We overanalyze things that haven't even come to place yet. So I don't know about you, but for me, the overwhelming emotion that centers around my past is shame. And the overwhelming emotion that surrounds my future is fear. Now, the difference between shame and fear is I know for a damn fact that shame is not my ally. But fear is, because I've learned in my life that fear tends to be an indicator. That yes, there is some fear in life that is there for your protection. It's why we get paralyzed when, we hear loud noises or something happens, because we are wired to protect, right? To protect ourselves. That's just what we do as humans. But I think so much of the things that we are holding back from experiencing, relationship, traveling, experience, things that you want to accomplish, it's fear. So what if you could use that for you today as an indicator of the direction that you should be walking and taking? And that what if 2023 was about you taking some risk? And yeah, you might make a mistake and you might fall and you might have to get up and keep trying. But my goodness, I want 2023 for me to be about experiences that I have created, and that I refuse to allow fear of what could go wrong to keep me stuck in the prison of regret because of things that I have already done that I can't change, that has just consumed my thoughts in my head. We are meant to experience life. So that's my hope for those of you that are listening. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for listening today. This has been the Chasing Better podcast. I'm Corey. If this has been something that has helped you, really would appreciate you getting the word out about this on Spotify, on your podcast app, on YouTube, on Reels, on freaking carrierpigeon.com. I don't know. There's all kinds of shit out there. But any way that you're listening to it, thank you. Have a good one, everybody.